Hi everyone, and welcome back. I'm Katy Jo. I'm a clinical social worker who started this channel to help us all get more real. Real to ourselves, authentic about who we are, so we can take that out into the world. I've been thinking about how manners and just social norms can get in our way of being real so much. I mean, you think about it. We're taught to be polite, to don't say anything that could be hurtful, to avoid conflict, to say white lies when something else might not be quite as well received, to avoid controversy at all cost, and to be a nice person all the time, compassionate, nurturing, peacemaker, all the time. It seems like small things, but this stuff is playing out constantly, and those rules were invented so that people know exactly what to expect from us. Oh, that's what I thought she'd say. That's exactly what I thought. I'm not threatened. I don't feel offended. Everything's fine. But I'll tell you what, it gets in your way if you're trying to be more real. Because once you start thinking, what is it that I really want or think or want to do, you'll realize that you disagree with some of those rules that you've had to live with some of those things that are considered polite, and what they really are is artificial. This is not to say that you can't be yourself and be polite. I'm all about kindness, I'm all about showing compassion, and I think you can say anything if you weigh your words just a little bit and make sure that you're being as direct as you can, as honest as you can, and as kind as you can. Authentic does not mean that you are not polite, but it can really mess with your mind, especially if there's some things you want to change. I have found that even the desire to change is seen as not only threatening, but offensive to people. And maybe that's how we're all kept in our place and kept exactly who we are so that everybody knows what to do. But changes like adjusting your beliefs. Now, this could just be adding something to your life. It could be something as important as changing a religious belief or a spiritual belief. And all of a sudden, it is interpreted as rudeness because you're no longer adhering to what your ancestors, what your family, what those that came before you did, which is really, really important in our culture. You're breaking out and doing something new because it feels more like you. And that alone can be interpreted as rudeness. Something as small as what you eat. I know this from example. When I became a vegan about a year ago, I had no true knowledge about how communal food is, how people see food as a connector, how personally attached they are to their food. So if you're together and all of a sudden you can't eat food that you used to eat, you can't or don't want to eat food that they made with love and good intention, it's taken very personal, and it's seen as kind of an offense, kind of this how could you walk away from what we've always done together? We gather around food, we eat, we share, that's what we do. And now you don't do it anymore. And I don't know who that person is. I want to give you a few tips that you can use when you know that you're just trying to be more real and you're sensing that people around you aren't liking it. They don't know what to do with it. They're perceiving it as rude or offensive. I want to give you a couple of things that you can do, specific things that you can do. So again, just recognize first of all that they don't know what to do with this authentic you. It feels like it's not you anymore because there's a game that you are not playing anymore, and that can really mess things up. So be mindful of how you're saying what you're saying, how much of yourself you're sharing, and assuring them that it's not about them and that you're still there. I like to use what I call the broken record approach because you're going to get a lot of questions. You're going to get a little boom, boom, dig or two about what the hell are you doing and why are you doing it. So come up with an elevator speech of something you're changing or something you feel strongly about. And I'm talking just a couple of sentences, a really, really small speech, but just kind of an approach you can use. Practice it. Make sure that it's accurate, make sure that it's kind, and make sure that it's strong and states where you are. I get a lot of questions. I'll use my example again of being a vegan. It prompts a lot of questions and a lot of little things to test where you are with it. So I usually just use a couple of sentences and say, I'm eating a plant-based diet. Wow, everything looks fantastic. There's a lot of it I'll be able to eat. I don't even have to say that some of it I can't eat. And that's only if I get a question. If I don't get questions, I don't say anything. I don't feel the need to justify myself. I don't feel the need to explain myself to everyone. So avoid doing that. Don't feel like you have to go in and bust all over everyone about what you're doing and why. That is a weak position to come from. Just state what you're doing if you're asked, and if not, just go about doing it. And share information as you can. If things get too deep for you, be sure that you have a way of switching the conversation. I see that you're interested. I'm interested in what you've been doing. How's your life going? I mean, just turn it around. You don't have to get offended. You don't have to get annoyed by it. So just be the broken record. Say the same thing a few times. Pretty soon people will lose interest in asking you so much. Another tactic you can use is silence. It's so powerful. Sometimes when people are talking about it or making comments, you don't always have to jump in and say something, contribute something, again, justify, explain something. Just let it go. Just listen to it and go about your business. It's okay. Silence is golden for a reason. It's a very good tactic when you want to move forward with a change and you're not sure how that's being received. Make sure that you keep engaging and that you don't withdraw, because you might feel a little bit uncomfortable because there's a spotlight on what you're doing or on what is different about you. So whatever common ground you can find, keep doing that. Connect with people, stand near people. Sometimes just the physical proximity that you are to a group of people will say a lot. You put yourself outside a group, outside a circle, or you withdraw and you're sitting in the corner of a room. What does that say? I'm different. I'm not comfortable with my choice. I don't think you accept me, and I don't want to engage with you. That'll just make things worse. Stay in it. You have every right to be yourself, to make a change, to do whatever that looks like. So approach the situation with confidence. It's a good thing. Once you let go of that need to be polite, to be agreeable, to never challenge anything, you can really become more authentic and find your true self much easier. It takes some time to unwind, to be honest, because you're still going to have those knee-jerk things. You'll sense those expectations from others, and sometimes you'll still do it. Say things you don't mean, agree to do something you don't want to do. It's okay. Just start practicing being more real. That way you don't have to have this dual thing in your life that can grate on you over time. To get used to being yourself in every situation that you possibly can. Thanks for joining me. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, hit the little bell. That will notify you with all my new videos. I post on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and my whole point of doing that is to help us all get more real. So whatever you do, until I see you again, be as real as you possibly can. It takes practice. You can do it. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.